This is the Louie Tee Network.
In the lab room. 5 minutes or less.
Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. 5 Minute or Less series, 2014 schedule release of the Tennessee Titans. You look at this football team, this is a new look team, new head coach. The roster's been shaken up a little bit. Let's look at these primetime games, shall we? Titans get 2. And you start with Week 16 at Jacksonville, Thursday Night Football game inside of this division late in the season. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. You got to find a way to go on the road and get it done. Again, if you want to try to win this division, you've got to beat teams like Jacksonville on the road. And I don't know if Jacksonville is going to be good or not. Doesn't matter. You need to find a way to get it done. Week 16 primetime television on the road versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. You look at week number 11. Home for the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football. Seems like you've got the Steelers number of late. Remember 2 years ago, Matthew Hasselbeck subbing in for an injured Jake Locker leads you to an improbable late victory against the Steelers at home on Thursday Night Football. Remember that? What about last season, week 1? You're on the road at Heinz Field against the Steelers, and you sneak up on them. I mean, Miami style, these guys. Boop! Right in the back of the head. You sneak attack them and win. It wasn't pretty, but it was a W. And so maybe you know something about the Steelers and everybody else doesn't. Whatever the case may be, to come into your place, Week 11, Monday Night Football, see if you can notch another victory under your belt versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you move on to divisional games. And for the Tennessee Titans, this is where it's at right here, because aren't you tired of missing the postseason? Aren't you tired of this division being up for grabs? But you not being able to seize the moment, seize the opportunity. Remember losing to Jacksonville last year and giving them their first win of the season? How embarrassing was that? Yeah, it's family business. Yeah, you guys play each other tough all the time. I don't care. They came to your house and got their first victory of the season. That can't happen, especially if you want to make the postseason. So let's look at this divisional slate. Week 8, you're home for the Texans. We don't know how good or how bad the Texans are going to be. Doesn't matter. They're coming in your place. Get a win. Get a win. You look at week 13, you got to go to Houston. That's going to be tough. You had those guys last year and you let them off the hook. You should have beat them in week 2. You let them sneak you. Now you get a chance to go back to Houston and rectify a wrong. Go and see if you can get a W week 13 at the Texans. Week 17, you're home for Indy. That's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one. You know why? Because the division can be on the line there. The division could actually be right there within reach week 17, and they're at your place. Now, again, you've got a lot of work to do in weeks 1 through 16 to get to the point where week 17 means the division is on the line. But guess what? You take care of your business within this division and outside of it, guess what? Week 17 could have playoff implications written all over it. Who other than the Indianapolis Colts would you rather have at your house week 17? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you look at week number 4. You're at Indy. Hey, early season game on the road. Make a statement. Stand up for yourself. Show the Colts that they're not wrapping this division up by week number 15. Okay? Because honestly speaking, we don't know who Houston is. Jacksonville's still a year or two away from really being a contender in this division. Let's face it, you're probably their chief competitor in this division, especially if Houston's still tripping off the same stuff they were tripping off of last season. You could be their main competitor in this division. You got to stand up early in the season. Make a stand. Go on the road and try to steal one from the Indianapolis Colts. You look at week 6, you're home for Jacksonville. I talked about what you did last year against Jacksonville at home. I'm not going to talk about it again. Just win, baby. Just win. Al Davis. So now you go to week 16. You're at Jacksonville. Look, you got to go on the road. You got to get victories in this division. You got to find a way to win, especially the games you're supposed to win. Now, again, we don't know what the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be. They could get a quarterback that lights it up, and this team could transform themselves into a 9-win team in a year's time. You don't know what the Jaguars are. But let's just go off the assumption that they're the same old Jags and that they're 4-12, 5-11 ball club. You got to win. You got to go to Jacksonville and win. Simple as that. So you move on to anomalies. And boy, do these Titans have a plethora of anomalies. And anomalies could be 3 out of 4 on the road or at home, 4 out of 5 on the road or at home, 3 straight on the road or at home, 4 straight on the road or at home, a game in London. Those are all anomalies. So let's look at them. Home anomalies, there's 2 of them. 3 out of 4 at home weeks 5 through 8. Take advantage of that situation, okay? They're giving you home games in a conglomerate. Take advantage of them because guess what? Later on in your schedule, they're going to ask for those home games back by the way of road games in an anomaly cluster. So take advantage of 3 out of 4 weeks 5 through 8 at home. You look at 3 out of 4 again at home, this time weeks 14 through 17. So they're throwing you a bone early in the season, weeks 5 through 8, and then they're giving you an opportunity to finish up this season strong, weeks 14 through 17, 3 out of 4 at home. And I already told you, week 17, you're home for Indy. So that's a huge stretch of football, one that you must take advantage of if you want to make the postseason. Then you look at your away anomalies, and you've got 2 of these as well. And so weeks 1 through 4, right out of the gate, you got 3 out of 4 on the road. So the schedule makers are testing you early. They're going to give you an exam. Let's see how you pass it or flunk it. What are you going to do? Are you going to come out of that stretch at 1-3, 0-4, or are you going to come out of that stretch at 2-2, 3-1, or possibly 4-0? Whatever the case may be, you've got to find a way to get road victories under your belt early in the season to give you a chance later on down the road. You look at 3 out of 4 on the road once again, this time in weeks 10 through 13. So again, schedule makers making you work for it early, then they're making you work for it in the middle portion of the season. You've got to find a way to get victories on the road in the middle portion of the season as well as at the beginning. And so that's going to be a stretch of football that's going to test you, and it's also going to send you toward that last home anomaly, and hopefully you're playing with some momentum that will carry you into that last stretch of the season. So now you go to your bye week, week number 9. That is a gorgeous bye, the best bye you can have in the National Football League because it splits the season directly in half. It gives you 8 games prior to the bye, 8 games after the bye. Doesn't get much better than that, so take full advantage of that week 9 bye. You look at your mark your calendar games, week 15, New York Jets coming to your place. And why is that significant? Because Chris is coming home. I'm coming home, and you know he wants to light you up. He wants to light your butt up. You've got to do a good job of bottling him up because he wants to come and send a statement, a message. I'm not done. I'm not washed up. And you made the biggest mistake that you could have made by cutting me loose. So that's a big one. And also week 4 at Indy. Week 17, home for Indy. Big matchups because those are games that are going to matter. So we'll see how you handle those in Tennessee. And that's going to do it for the Tennessee Titans in 5 minutes or less. Like the content? Want more? Sub up.
In the lab room.